Welcome to the Living the Dream podcast with Curveball. If you believe, you can achieve. Hello and welcome to another episode of Living the Dream with Curveball. Today, I am joined by Mahogany Clark. She is an author, and we're going to be talking about her books and any other projects that she might have coming up. Thank you for joining me today, Mahogany.
Yes, thank you.
Let's start it off by telling people who you are and a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and all that stuff like that.
Yes, no problem. I am Mahogany Clark. I also go by the name of Mahogany Writes. It's a name I came up with when I first started writing. And I am from Miami, Florida, born and raised. I'm 21 years old, and I now also serve in the U.S. Army while doing online classes as well for college.
Okay, tell people the title of your books and a little bit about your books.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Okay, so my very first book, it's called, see the title, it's called Self Love. It's a poetry book that I wrote when I was 19 years old. I had been writing before that, but I would usually post my writings on social media, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. But I didn't put it on the platform until I joined the Army, and I was in the Army after a year. After about a year, that's when I decided to write my first book because I was purpose searching basically. And, I was trying to figure out what was my purpose in life and what would I do no matter what was going on, whether I got paid to do it or not, and something that I was passionate about doing, and it was writing. So I came up with the title Self Love because I looked at all my other poetry writings that I wrote from over the years, and I noticed that I was literally having the same issue. I was talking about the same thing, the same topic, which all kind of came under having a self-love issue, not valuing myself much as I should have, really, and not, getting to know myself or knowing the things that I liked, but always trying to please other people or trying to hold on to people when they weren't meant to stay in my life and things like that. So self-love basically is about some of the situations or that I've encountered, and it also encourages people not to make those same mistakes. And if they already have that, they're not the only ones in this world, and you can always do better. And forgive yourself, of course, and the other people that hurt you. And my second book is called A Cup of Family Tea. I wrote this when I was deployed, actually. I came up with the book before I left for deployment, but I ended up writing it on deployment. When I would get off work, I would just go in my bunk, and because we sleep in bunks, so it was like a lot of people in one area, one kind of like it was like a Connex room type thing. So we had bunks, and I would come back after work, and I would get on my computer and I would type. A Cup of Family Tea is about my childhood before I joined the Army and the things that I went through growing up, staying with my father majority of my years. I was with my mother and father up until the age of 4 years old when they separated because of the different abuses that was going on in the house. So they couldn't stay together. So she ended up staying with her mom, and my dad ended up kind of doing his own thing. And then he eventually ended up staying with his mom too after getting into some trouble and things like that. So I stayed with my mother for like another year, and she didn't want to raise me anymore. So I ended up living with my father, who was at the time, he was in Madison, Georgia, staying with my grandmother. So from there on, um, growing up with him, I just saw a lot of changes. The stability was very off, it lacked a lot of the time. I didn't really get into a stable home until high school years. And even then, it was a bit unstable because the different relationships with different women, the way he carried on with them, things like that. And also, I talk about things that happened right before I went to basic training, like just different events that basically molded me into who I am today. And a cup of family tea encourages people to always keep going no matter like what goes wrong in life, because a lot went wrong and I could have chose a different path, but I chose to better myself and I chose to turn my pain into passion. So it encourages people to do the same things. And that's both of my books. That's out right now. But I'm also publishing my very first children's book actually in October. And the name of that book is called Somebody Always Loves You, which is available for pre-order. And I know this might it sound like a lot, but I know my third book, my first children's book, that book is going to be about teaching younger children that somebody always loves them, no matter who they're around, or no matter if they can't get to their parents at the moment, because our parents are our first love, but a lot of the time they have to work or they're caught up in other things that's going on in their life, so or they're just not around. So it teaches them to look to people that are around them. So if mom's not there, look to dad. If dad's not there, look to your brother. Brother's not there, look to your sister. Sister's not there, look to your cousins. Cousin's not there, look to your grandma. Grandma's not there, grandpa, aunt, uncle, and your friends. It just goes down the line of people that's around us every day, to remind them that somebody always loves them. And yes.
Let's talk about some of your poetry and about those different titles and why you chose to write those poems. And also, I want to know, are you planning on publishing a poetry book as well?
Oh yeah, I did already. Self love. That's actually a poetry book, but it's like a poetry slash self help kind of book.
Oh,
If that,
okay. I
yeah.
thought you would. I know you said something about some poetry that you did before you actually wrote these last two books.
Yes, yes, I did do some of that too. But that's what self love is, like a combination of some poems from before and then some poems that I added to it. So like the very first poem in here, I actually called it self love. Started it with self love, and it's supposed to be subtitled "Always Love Yourself First." Of course, I started with this first because the book surrounds self love, loving yourself first, and always taking care of you, because if you're not taken care of, then how can you take care of those around you? And like I have another title where I talk about letting go and forgiving, people that might have harmed you or hurt you in any kind of way, so that, and I mean, even forgiving yourself too, so that you don't carry that on your heart, or you don't carry that in your mind, and you can like start over and, do better from the point of where you're at. So that's what that one is about. I also have another one that, let's see, I talked about things like people being temporary. So I had like three parts of that poem, um, because like I had issues with people that would come and go out of my life, and I couldn't really like, let me see, I couldn't get on with the fact that some people are just not meant to stay. So like I talk about how I'm not a temporary person, and I want something that will stick, something that's long lasting, and that's basically what I went into with the temporary. And
What kind of feedback have you received from your books from family and friends as well as your readers?
the feedback that I have received, actually, surprisingly, a lot of the people that I know tell me that they went through some of the same things. And they also say that they understand me better than how they understood me before, because I guess I might have come off maybe a bit too strong sometimes, or maybe they just didn't understand me. They probably thought I was just mean, or, they just wasn't too fond of me or something. So it was good to like know that my writings actually, like, people could relate. A lot of people could relate, and it also helped them understand me, which is, I actually wasn't aiming for that, but I appreciated that because I am misunderstood sometimes. So
In what ways do you feel that your books have helped fulfill the purpose in your life for which God has created you for?
I feel that, so for me, what makes me happy, surprisingly, and I mean, I know this might contradict like what I said about self-love, but what makes me really happy is knowing that I helped somebody else, or I helped make somebody else happy, or I helped encourage someone else to keep going in their life. And I do get comments, or I do get messages sometimes where people will tell me, because they see my drive and they see what I'm doing at such a young age, that it encouraged them to continue on with the projects that they started. So for me, um, it's very like fulfilling to know that my writings actually mean something to somebody else, and they actually help other people, and not, they didn't just help me, you know.
Do you have any book promotion events coming up where people can connect with you, such as book signings, speaking engagements, any virtual events, or anything like that?
So on September 26th, I'm not sure if anyone is in North Carolina, where I'm at. I'm in North Carolina, but in Fayetteville, I'm a part of this group called By the Block Back 360, and once a month we would get together. It's a group of different business vendors. We would get together basically to showcase our different businesses. But it's not just about us showcasing our businesses or earning income. Like, what we do is we help the people in the community. So for this month, we're gonna help give back to this organization that actually helps juveniles that just got out of jail. They help them with housing and getting a job and different like things like that. Teaching them the right way to earn and stuff like that. And they're going to be doing a car wash at this event that we're having on 402 East Russell Street in Fayetteville, North Carolina. That's September 26th, Saturday in the morning. And so what what that event does is it draws attention to their business, and it also helps us buy the block back, because it used to be like, where we're actually having this event, that used to be a Black Wall Street, but it's been closed, abandoned, and shut down, a lot of those Black businesses. But when we have these events, we come together, we're working on actually opening these businesses back up, and different things like that. So that's actually one of my recent events, where I'll be like out there promoting my books, or also passing out socks to the homeless, because we did that Friday, but it was hard to kind of find a lot of people at the time, because I think they were all at the soup kitchen, stuff like that. So when we do the event and when we see them, we were gonna give them, different things that they might need, or stuff like that.
Is there anything else you would like to discuss that we haven't covered?
Um, well, as far as social media, my Facebook is Mahogany and last name Clark, so Mahogany and CLARK. And my Twitter and my Instagram is both Mahogany Writes with the Z at the end. So Mahogany Mahogany, and Writes Writez.
Do you have a website that you promote your books as well? And also talk about the formats that your books are available in.
Oh yes. My books, actually all of my books are all available on Amazon.com. They're both available in ebook and paperback. And I do have a personal website that I sell that I'm actually going to be selling my hard copies for my children's book through, but I'm not sure of the way it's spelled is kind of weird. It's through Wix.com, but it's set up like a weird way. But all my books will all be available on Amazon in ebook.
Right. And if people contact you on social media, they can definitely get in touch with
Yeah,
you that way and keep up on your books. What's the date on that new children's book coming out?
October 14th.
All right. Well, we'll definitely be looking forward to that. Mahogany, thank you so much for joining me. Ladies and gentlemen, Mahogany Clark.
I
For more information on the Living the Dream podcast, visit www.djcurveball.com. Until next time, stay focused on living the dream.